and expressing all this emotion, as well as recognizing and responding to them from other people. Which means, are you kidding? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Real Talk with You. On today's episode, we will be looking at the topic emotional intelligence. Whether you're married or you're dating, understanding and applying emotional intelligence can make a huge difference. Now, let's look at why this emotional intelligence is important and how to develop it. First, we will be looking at the meaning of emotions. What is emotions? Emotions simply means the feelings and reaction we experience in response to people, our own thoughts, or a situation. And these feelings include fear, love, anxiety, anger, and so on and so forth. And knowing how to manage these feelings can make a huge difference. Now, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence simply means understanding, managing, and expressing these emotions we just mentioned. You know, the emotions we just mentioned: feeling of anger, fear, anxiety, love, and etc. So on and so forth. It's understanding these feelings, managing them, and expressing them, as well as recognizing and responding to them from other people. This simply means you can communicate better, empathize deeper, and as well as handle conflicts more effectively. Now, here are the reasons why emotional intelligence is important in our relationship. The first one here is it improves communication. You know, communication is a two-way thing. Emotional intelligence helps you understand the other person's expressions and helps you express yours better. You know, I express my own communication in a clearer way while I understand the next person's feelings too. That's number one. Number two, it helps you build empathy. Empathy simply means sympathy, you know, it helps you understand where that person is coming from. Put yourself in that person's shoes, you know, and understand why that person acted or reacted in that manner. This actually helps your decision at the end of the day. Number three is it enhances conflict resolution. You know, when you're emotionally intelligent, you tend to handle conflicts better in a more clearer and calmer way. You don't rush into making decisions, you listen better and you take note of things that the person might not be saying. Yes, a lot of people talk, and sometimes they might not be saying the real reason behind certain things they do. Emotional intelligence will help you recognize those silent words that the person might be saying, might not be saying. So this will help you resolve conflicts in a smoother and calmer way without getting, you know, aggravated or shouting on top of your voice or creating a scene. Then number four is it strengthens trust. Emotional intelligence actually helps with openness and honesty. If you're intelligent, you know when somebody is not saying something they should not say, and you know when somebody's being open to you and how to trust the person better. Okay. Then number four here, number five, it promotes healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. We talked about um, being emotionally intelligent to hear what the person might not be saying. You know, sometimes in certain situations, somebody might just be saying something that is obvious to you, while not saying certain things because of maybe because of certain people around the area or the people present there. When you recognize this, then you know when not to cross the line. So it helps you not to step on people's boundaries or break people's boundaries. Okay, not where not to cross and where to cross. Emotional intelligence helps you with that. Then number six, it increases emotional support. When you're emotionally intelligent, you tend to understand why someone needs a shoulder to cry on, when someone just needs a listening ears. You won't be talking when the person just needs you to be quiet and just say everything is okay or everything will be fine. Sometimes that's all we need to hear from you. Sometimes that's all we need to hear from loved ones. We don't need you to explain, dissect the situation, or tell us where we went wrong or where we are not what we are not supposed to do. We just need you to be quiet, understand our pain, and empathize with us. So it helps you know when to be a listening ear and when just to be a shoulder to cry on. Okay. Then number seven is it encourages personal growth. Emotional intelligence helps you understand yourself better. You can only understand the next person when you understand yourself better. Sometimes people don't even know themselves. So even when they feel certain ways, they can't understand why they feel that way. So emotional intelligence opens you to the awareness of self-discovery and self-awareness. Okay. Now we have covered why emotional intelligence is important. Now let's look at how we can develop these attributes. How can we develop emotional intelligence? The first one is practice self-awareness. What I talked about, knowing yourself, that is self-awareness. Practice knowing yourself better. Okay, this is an example. If I know myself that in a crowded place I don't like someone yelling my name, because I know this fact, I know how to pass it to the next person. And I know how to react when somebody yells my name in a crowded place. I can either ignore or I can make a sign language or just a gesture for the person to know I don't like this. You know, but when I don't understand myself and I am not aware of the fact that I just don't like people yelling my name in a crowded place, I might react in a way that is not it will look like I am a troublemaker, the way that every other person will see me that like I like trouble. There's some reaction you give in certain situation where people look at you and say, no, 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 I can't be with this person. Not knowing that the situation made you react that way. So emotional intelligence will actually help you with self-awareness, knowing yourself, knowing how to build your boundaries, knowing how to put the boundaries, set the boundaries so people don't cross it and make you look like you are the troublesome person. You are the troublemaker. And number two, it helps you manage your emotions. I wasn't, I was a very loud person. A loud person in the sense that I respond in situations where they're like in a conflict. I respond to you heads on. When you say something to me, I would respond to every little thing you say. But right now, I emotional intelligence has taken me to a level where people look at me and like they ask me how you this calm. Even in situations where I should yell and shout or throw a fit, I am calm. And I didn't just become this person today. I built it with self awareness and other things I had to know about myself and how to manage these emotions. First, I asked myself, does it really matter if I don't answer this thing? If I don't answer this comment, will I die? You know, and by the time I'm asking myself that question, and it's just a lot of things comes into my head, and by the time I get the response, for with everything that is in my head, it's cold. As it is hot. No, it's no longer as it is hot. It's now cold, and there is no need to respond to it anymore. So emotional intelligence helps you manage your emotions better. You know who to respond to, because I could see you and see where you are answering me from. I understand better on how to respond to you. There are some people, they answer you through pain, a place of pain. Some people answers um, would converse with you or have conflicts with you from a place of grief. People hear the things you say to them through what they feel, through their emotions, what they're going through at that moment. It doesn't define what you said. It's not because of what you said they are reacting. It's just because of where they are coming from. So when you're emotionally intelligent, you will see these people for who they really are and see situations for what it really is, and it will help you manage conflicts better. Then, number three, it helps you develop empathy. Empathy to me is a gift. If you develop empathy, you are one of the best people on earth. Why am I saying this? Empathy is both a blessing and a curse. I will go into that later. If you are an empath, you tend to understand people's feelings deeper than the norm. Do you understand? You tend to not only understand how they feel at that point, you tend to connect to the root of the problem and understand exactly how they feel when it happened. So it's like absorbing their pain and going through the process with them. So if emotional intelligence can actually help you develop empathy, then why shouldn't you try to understand people's points of view, where they are coming from, why they feel the way they feel, why they talk the way they talk, why they their boundaries are so high, the walls they build around themselves are so tall. This will help you know how to go about maybe being in a relationship with them or trying to help them heal as a friend. Especially in a relationship or in marriage or dating. If you don't have empathy, your relationship will crash. It will crash because there are times where you will question yourself why you are in a relationship with your partner. We are all human beings. We sometimes we go crazy and sometimes we behave like we just lost the knots, you know. But if you're an empath, if you have empathy, it will help you understand them at those moments where they go crazy. Okay, so emotional intelligence helps you have more empathy towards people and how they behave. Then, number four, it improves your communication. Right now, as a person, my communication skills is off the roof. It's off the charts. I Before I will talk to you and just feel like you understood or you understand what I'm saying or you've heard me, then I just move on. Then the next minute when I'm asking you questions about what I just said earlier and you're not answering me, I'm already upset. I'm upset because I feel like you're disrespecting me or maybe you weren't listening to me on purpose, or you just don't want to listen to me. But when I understood communication, how communication should go, when I understood how emotional intelligent communication is, I understood that I would wait for a response. I'm telling you, I need you to check me up by 5 because I need to go for a meeting. Remind me. And before, I will just walk away after saying that, thinking you've heard. But now I would wait and say, have you heard me? Did you hear me? Confirming if my communication to you was passed and if you understood what I just said. So if the receiver of the communication isn't giving you a feedback, then your communication isn't complete. That's a halfway communication. So I would ask this thing, ask for this favor, and now ask again if the person heard me. Then I will wait for a response of either yes or a no. If I have to repeat myself, I would repeat myself before leaving and still confirm if the person heard the second time before I leave. Okay, and that will help me from a lot of heartache, like missing my appointment, or the person finally saying, I didn't hear you, I didn't understand what you meant. It will help me. If I had to say it to somebody else, if I just feel like, okay, at this point, I repeated myself twice or three times, and this person isn't understanding me, it means that I have to send somebody else. If I have to send somebody else, then I do that. So it helps you with better communication. It improves the way you communicate with people, and it gives you less heartache. Trust me. Then, number five, it helps you practice emotional regulation. If you're emotionally intelligent, you understand that you don't act at impulse. You don't act on impulse. Not everything someone says deserves a response. And if you're so angry that the person has said something that is so um, infuriating, that is so um, deep, or that is so hard for you to take in at that point, once you're emotionally intelligent, you know that you don't have to respond. Then you know what to do to yourself to help you regulate your emotions. How do I mean? Sometimes when I'm angry, before I respond to something, especially when it's a stupid questions. In fact, people around me knows that when you ask me a stupid question and I am quiet and looking at you, they would now ask me, is the question stupid? Like, oh, Or sometimes I would say, do you need me to answer that question? Once I say sentences like that, it just shows them how maybe unnecessary the question is. On other times when I'm so angry, I take a deep breath, and I count up to 10 very slowly. And by the time I get to 10, I might not feel the need to react. It helps me think through my actions and my reactions. Okay, so it helps you practice emotional regulation. Number six, it helps you cultivate patience. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a very strong virtue to have. Why is patience important? I started teaching my kids how to be patient recently. I tell them it is not everything you ask for you get, and it's not immediately you ask for it, you get it. Why? Because life itself will teach you how to be patient if you're not patient, and you will learn it the hard way. But when you're emotionally intelligent and you understand patience is very important, you know how to maneuver when you need to be patient. Not everything in life comes immediately. Sometimes you plant, especially when you're trying to reap from the harvest of your hard work. Some harvest doesn't come immediately. You have to work and wait, you know. And even your faith teaches you to be patient. When you pray, you wait on the Lord, and He will answer you at His own time, because He is God. So patience is very important, and it's a virtue to have in your relationship. And number seven, it helps you seek feedback. You remember when I said, if I ask a question or I ask for a favor, I will wait for a feedback, so it doesn't cost me a lot of heartache later. So when you're emotionally intelligent, you will practice this feedback, waiting for feedback. Because it means the communication is complete. It's Communication is a two-way thing. You send and you receive back. So if you're not expecting a feedback, that's a different thing. But I feel that in every communication, there's a feedback. There's either a nod, a smile, or a frown. So for every communication, there's a feedback. So it helps you seek for feedback, then helps you know the next step to take. Number eight, it helps you show appreciation. Thank you. You're welcome. God bless you. All these little compliments. Emotional intelligence actually helps you understand that it is needed. When someone does something very simple to you or for you, like giving you, picking up your pen and all that, you know that you should say thank you. You know how to appreciate and compliment people better if you're emotionally when you are emotionally intelligent. Number nine, it helps you resolve conflict constructively. A lot of people are like Adam that blamed Eve for giving him the apple that sent him out of the Garden of Eden. So when you are emotionally intelligent, it will help you not to throw blames. A lot of people would, instead of resolving the conflict of, oh, what's the solution, they would stay on, it is your fault, it is this person's fault, it is this person's fault, which would take a lot of time. If you're when you're emotionally intelligent, you know that you don't stay on what causes the problem or who causes the problem, but the next thing you'll be looking for is how to resolve the problem and how to solve the problem. So it helps you know the constructive way to resolve conflicts. You don't stay or dwell on the problem itself. You go forward and look for the solution immediately. Then number 10, it engages in continuous learning. It helps you engage in continuous learning. Sorry. When you're emotionally intelligent, you keep learning every day, because your I would say your antenna is open to changes on how people react. We have different people and different characters. So emotional intelligence helps you know that, okay, this person that did something yesterday isn't the same person for today, because you know that you don't have the same upbringing or situations surrounding the issue at that time is not the same. So you expect a different reaction from different people. Emotional intelligence helps you read these reactions and helps you know how to um, respond to them, and helps you navigate the emotions you get from them. That's the last point I have on how to develop emotional intelligence. Now let's look at what happens when you don't apply emotional intelligence in your relationship, which simply means the disadvantages of not applying emotional intelligence in your relationship. The first point I have here is poor communication. You will have poor communication, and poor communication simply means the end of your relationship. We are ladies, we need listening ears. So it means if you don't listen to us, you will have problems, you know, and it means you will not communicate properly. There are certain things you say to us, and there are certain things you don't say to us. Okay, we are not the men. The men understand in a different perception, while we understand in a different perspective. You understand? Our perspectives are different. So if you are not emotionally intelligent, you will not know how to communicate to a lady and how to communicate to a man. Okay, so when you communicate to us like you're communicating with your pal, with your buddy, and your best friend, we will react to you in a way you don't expect. And when the ladies communicate as if they're talking to their bestie, at the end of the day, it might not go down well. So if you're emotionally intelligent and you know that this is in your relationship, you have to apply certain form of communication, and this will help you navigate properly through the communication in your relationship. It will cause you less problems. Okay. Then the second one here is it increases conflicts. If you don't have emotional intelligence, you don't apply emotional intelligence in your relationship, you have increase in conflicts. You argue literally over everything, because the truth is both of you are from two different backgrounds. You're from two different homes. You act differently. I've seen where couples fight over the present toothpaste in the middle. Guy, why is that possible? Is because they are not from the same home. In my home, I was told that we don't mess up the toothpaste. It has to look neat, and you press it from the bottom, to the top. And while in his home, they thought maybe they are just guys, there's no girl there, and their mom is not really like that finicky. And they just handle toothpaste however, you know, that little thing will cause conflict. So we'll argue over, why did you press it in the middle? And why didn't you press it in the middle? And why should I not press it from the middle? Toothpaste is toothpaste. You know, that alone is because we don't understand that we should be smart about certain things when it comes to two different people. So applying emotional intelligence in your relationship will actually stop you from arguing over petty things and little things. It will reduce the conflicts, the amount of arguments and conflicts that may arise in your relationship. Then number three is lack of empathy. I don't know when my girlfriend needs a listening ear. I don't know when my boyfriend needs me to just shut up and let him speak. I don't know when I've crossed my line, my boundaries with him, and he needs to be firm with me. I don't know when I shouldn't scream at my girlfriend and how far not to go, like hitting her or calling her names. I don't know when I'm abusing her, when I'm turning into an abusive boyfriend, or when I'm turning into a troublesome girlfriend, just because we are not emotional intelligence. Okay, so emotional intelligence actually helps you know boundaries not to cross, and when you're crossing them, it helps you know the limits and how to stop. Okay, then number four, it will help you, there will be more um emotional reaction from both of you, emotional reaction. There was a time in my relationship where I always felt like crying, you know and the funny part of the story is the fact that I wasn't just feeling like crying because something happened at that time. I was so bent on thinking about the past things that happened to me. And that made me feel like crying most times. I sit down because I am less busy. I won't think of something productive. I would just be thinking of, oh, that day he shouted at me. Why would he even shout at me like that? In fact, I saw a video one time where the lady and the boyfriend they were chilling, you know, and the lady just looked at um her the guy's screensaver and saw her picture and the name he put on the screen. Lovely thing, right? But the next thing is she just slapped him. And the guy was like, why? It was like, I just remember that you dated somebody else before me. And you must have put her picture on your screen the same way you are putting my picture on your screen right now. And that took the guy from like 0 to like 100 because it wasn't expected, and it was the reason was stupid, you know. But the truth is, I understood her because sometimes it happens. I look at my babe and I'm like, the same way he's telling me he loves me, he has told somebody before. So how am I sure it's not scam? But that's a discussion for another day. So I'm just saying that if you don't apply emotional intelligence, you would have emotional reaction most times that is not warranted, that is not needed at that point. Imagine that the guy the slapped was in a bad mood and he was thinking of maybe one money he has lost and she doesn't know about, and that will lead to something else. Okay, so it helps us from not being able to manage our emotions properly and not knowing when to react. Do you understand? Then number five, it helps us with trust. It helps us portray the actions um, and the habits of trust, so our partner will be able to trust us, and it helps us understand when our partner is trying to make us trust them. So it helps us with trust. Then it helps us resolve difficult conflicts. There are conflicts that you will have in your relationship that you have to go and call your father and your mother. In-laws have to come and get involved in If you're emotional intelligence, you wouldn't need to call them. You know when to be calm and you know when to be hot. They say in a relationship you have to be cold and hot at the same time. You have to be no lukewarm. You can't be here or there. You have to either be hot and cold, but you know when to do that. Both partners always have this temperament. Trust me. The husband has when he should be hot and cold, and the wife has when she should be hot and cold. So this helps the husband. The husband understands when the wife is hot and he is cold at that time. He has to be cold because he's intelligent. And the wife sees when the husband is hot. She knows she has to be cold. So this helps us. Emotional intelligence helps us know when we should be cold and when we should be hot and how to respond to when our partners are cold and when they are hot. I don't know if there are situations when you walked into the house before, excited and all that, and you meet your partner very moody. If you're not intelligent, you won't know how to go about it, because we never quarrel. There was no fight. There was no argument. There was no exchange of words. 5 minutes ago, we were happy on the phone, and the next 5 minutes or 3 minutes, I'm entering the house, and you are moody, like really moody. It happens to me a lot. There are some people like us that we, our emotions, it's like wind. We just fly around. It just our emotions are a lot. Especially from where people like us when where we are coming from. Sometimes we just have flashes of our past, and it messes our emotions up and our mind up. If you are not an intelligent partner, you won't understand how to handle people like that. So emotions actually helps you with resolving situations like that and handling conflicts. Okay, then it helps if your relationship lacks emotional intelligence. It actually strains the relationship. It strains the relationship because there will be a lot of misunderstanding. Like I just mentioned, if I'm coming in and you're moody, I would just feel like, oh, this one is a party pooper. I'm very excited today. I don't want you to mess up my excitement. I'm in a good mood. So let me just go and chill with the people that can be happy with me. Something like that. Somebody has done it to me. So understand I understand what I'm saying. I just feel like, oh, you are not trying to understand what is happening to me or why I am in that mood. Or other times it might just be like, okay, you're very excited and all that, and somebody just comes and maybe like a celebrity, someone comes and hug and kiss you, and I'm just coming out of, I see the person pecking you, and I'm coming out from somewhere. Or maybe we've had like issues of suspecting that you were cheating before. Situations like that, if I'm not intelligent and I know when to say, babe, what's up? Somebody just, who is that? I know how to ask who would fight about it. So emotional intelligence actually helps you avoid things like that, to situations, to misunderstand situations and start fighting over something that was nothing. At the end of the day, you find out what you're fighting about is even small or is nothing. And you feel stupid. But by that time, water don't pass Gary. Especially for those people that react to every little thing. And you say things, and the person will say, "Are you the one? Are you talking to me like that? Are you talking to me like that?" And the person will say their own, "Bow," and they say, "Oh, is it me that you talk to?" It's like it's like a wrestling match. The next person will just smash their own out and say, "Okay, I can talk. My mouth is. I think my mouth is not. My mouth is bad. I know how to insult more than you." And before you know, everything is scattered. So it will help you from the strain in your relationship. Then number eight, if your relationship lacks emotional intelligence, navigating through your mental health would be very difficult. Navigating through mental health would be very difficult. Mental health. This is an important topic that we will look into, but a lot of mental health issues happen in relationship. And if you're not emotionally intelligent, you won't even recognize them. You know, you won't even recognize the fact that this is a mental health issue, that you have to be keep your mental health safe. You have to protect your mental health. I've been in a relationship where before my partner gets home, it was a really abusive relationship, trust me. And we will dive into that later, maybe along the line. But before my partner gets home, I will be looking for how to get drunk. So I don't remember anything, because he might be coming home with fights, he might be coming home with quarrel, or he might be anxious and all that. So the fear of him getting home and meeting me awake is a problem. Meanwhile, I don't sleep till I see my partner, because that's the kind of woman I am. I will wait up for him. So when I hear his car, I have to sleep. So how do I manage sleeping very deep so I don't remember anything and waiting up for him to get home? So that was like a lot for my mind to deal with. And for the kind of person I am, I remember every little detail. Trust me, I don't forget things. And this actually kept eating deep into my mental health, where I will be in the midst of people and I am gone. I'm not there. And people have to call me like twice, three times, and even tap me for me to be back there. And it was getting worse by the day. But because I wasn't with an intelligent partner, he didn't see that he was doing this to me, or maybe he saw it and he doesn't care. But I, on my own, didn't know that it was damaging me. It was eating deep into me, my mental health, so as to protect myself. I didn't know how to protect myself and when to cut the line. So being emotionally intelligent will help you from a lot of things, help you avoid a lot of things. So it helps you navigate the impact on your mental health. It helps you protect your mental health, from a lot of people that are out there that don't care about what they do to you or how you end up at the end of the day. I heard a story about a doctor from the psychiatric home that says that a lot of people in the psychiatric homes are women from abusive marriage, and that's actually that day it was a change in my life. Okay, because I recognized what was happening to me, and I knew that if I continued that way, I would end up like one of those people. You know, that is a messy story, and along the line, we will talk about it when we get to other topics that concerns what happened to me. And as we get to those topics, I will make sure to give you details of my own experience. Okay. Then number 9, and the last number here is, it would if your relationship is lacking emotional intelligence, it will decrease the relationship satisfaction. You won't find satisfaction in your relationship anymore. A lot of marriages are going through this, that there is no satisfaction in their relationship anymore. You find out that the couples are not interested in having any intimate time, no intimacy anymore, and they are spending their time either on the phone or with friends, because the relationship isn't fun to them anymore, or maybe the relationship isn't as they expect it to be. And instead of them to find a way to resolve what the conflict or what the problem is, they rather find their satisfaction with other people. This leads to cheating and so on and so forth. Okay, so a relationship that there is no emotional intelligence, that we are not applying emotional intelligence, is heading for the rocks. So that's why we thought to bring to you this knowledge, this information, and educate you on the fact that emotional intelligence is important in your relationship and is important in your own personal life with other people, especially in your relationship, because I have a passion about relationship. I am focusing on relationship, helping my ladies and my women, my strong women and mothers understand that there are certain things to expect from your relationship and certain things not to expect from your relationship. The things to expect and the things not to expect, and you should not condole in your relationship. So know this, mothers and women. Once the signs are showing up in your relationship, know that either you or your partner needs to apply emotional intelligence. Or if you don't understand, we have books to read. There are books to read. Enlighten yourself and try to talk with your partner. Or better still, find help. There are people that will do therapy. There are therapists all around the world. Therapy isn't only for sick people, it can be for sick relationships too. Okay? It is not only people that are crazy that go for therapy. Okay, so please seek help before your relationship ends up in the rock, or before you end up somewhere you don't want to be. Okay, thank you for joining me on this episode today. I hope you've learned one or two things, and I hope that I have been able to pass my information in a very clear way that you will understand how important emotional intelligence is. And if you enjoy my episodes and you enjoy all the topics I've been talking about, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you would not miss out on any of my episode. Trust me, it's going to be packed full with exciting and good informations to come. I have a lot in store, especially for the ladies. I have a lot in store for you. Please subscribe and press the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the new episodes. Thank you and have a blast.